All right, we're down. We got 2 more comics to go. You guys with me? Yeah. All right. Next guy coming to the stage, very, very funny guy. He's a friend of mine. He's headed to New York next week, so we want to have. I hope he has a great set this last time before he moves. And if he doesn't, it's your fucking fault. Don't give me an O, goddamn. No, this guy's great. I love him. Give it up for Parker Tighe. Let him hear it.
So I grew up here in Vegas, and I don't think people should grow up here. I don't think that should happen. I don't think it's a good thing. There's a lot of things happened to me growing up here, man. Like when we were in elementary school, my class, we took a field trip to Binion's. That's really a thing that happened to me. I saw an adult man naked on Fremont Street. I think it was a part of the curriculum. But it's not all bad growing up here. Like we had our high school prom was at the top of the stratosphere, which is kind of cool, right? But then in hindsight, I think they were just trying to show us where we were all going to work right after prom. They were stapling applications to us as we were walking out the venue. But everything that happened to me growing up here, the thing that really sticks with me, when I was in elementary school, I had this teacher I didn't like, okay? Her name was Mrs. Richards, all right? And the whole school hated this lady, so we would call her Mrs. Bitchards, okay? It was pretty clever. And one day, it was the night before I had to go to her class, and I didn't want to go to her class the next day. So before bed, I prayed to God that we'd have a substitute teacher the next day at school. So the next day I go to school and I find out that my prayer had been answered. She didn't go to school that day. Now, later I found out that night before, Mrs. Richards had been murdered by her ex-husband, 9 p.m., okay? Guys, I prayed for that, 8:45. And I just like to extend my apologies to the entire Bitchards family. Guys, I'm really sorry. Pretty sorry about that. Now, I don't want to brag or anything to you fine people, but I'm something of an American hero, all right? Thank you. Not because of that thing, but I worked at during the pandemic, I worked at Walmart. You guys are all getting your $700 a week unemployment checks. I was in the trenches I was actually at the Walmart neighborhood market, okay? It's the shitty Walmart, right? You guys know the Walmart neighborhood. It's the one that just has groceries, right? So that's where I worked. And I don't know if you guys remember, but especially at the beginning of the pandemic, everybody was stocking up on toilet paper. Do you guys remember this was the big thing, right? Everybody thought COVID was going to get you right in your ass, right? So everybody's buying toilet paper, okay? So we were running real low on the toilet paper supply at the Walmart neighborhood market, okay? So we started limiting how much you could buy, like it was like 1 case per purchase, right? And my job for a while was to enforce that rule, okay? This was essential to the United States of America. So I had to stand near the self-checkout and make sure nobody was buying too much toilet paper. And one day there was a guy who was trying to buy too much toilet paper. So I go up to him and I go, hey man, that's over the legal limit. You're gonna have to put some of that back. And then he pointed a gun at me. This was the Walmart neighborhood market on Charleston and Torrey Pines. That is kind of important to the story. But yeah, he pointed a gun at me. And guys, he got all of that toilet paper for free because at the Walmart neighborhood market on Charleston and Torrey Pines, a gun is a coupon. That is something that we accept. Guys, the only difference between a gun and a coupon is after working at Walmart, you're not going to stick a coupon in your mouth, all right? That's really the only major difference. But I don't work there anymore. I actually don't have a job at all right now, which is kind of cool. Thank you. Unemployment, yeah. The last job I had that I quit recently, I used to be a tour guide at the Grand Canyon. And a while ago, I was taking this group of people out to the canyon, and this older lady that was in the tour group, she slipped and she broke her ankle out there. Yeah. And now the Grand Canyon, for those that are unaware, bit of a rural area. Okay. There's no hospitals inside of the canyon, right? That's the situation. Okay, so I had to call in a medevac helicopter to come pick this lady up, all right? Medevac helicopter gets there, come to find out, helicopter's only got room for the patient, the pilot, the EMT. So her husband couldn't go on the helicopter with her. He had to ride back on the bus with me without his wife. Happiest guy I've ever seen in my entire life. Dude tipped me $100 as she was being loaded into the helicopter. He might have pushed the broad, I'm not entirely sure. Here's the thing they don't tell you about the Grand Canyon. People fall off way more than you'd think. Here's how often people fall off the canyon. We have a hand signal for it. If you're ever at the canyon and you see one employee look at another employee and then go like this, that means somebody just jumped off the canyon. And the thing is, like, you get kind of numb to it working out there. Like I said, like you see it happen quite a bit. But the people who are visiting the canyon that day, man, their day is ruined. They're having a bad day. And the thing is, like, you know, as I mentioned, I worked for tips, so like I had to pretend to also be upset about it. You know, when I see someone jump off, I'd go like, oh no. What a uniquely terrible... But I didn't really feel that way. Guys, whenever I saw somebody jump off the canyon, I only thought about one thing. And that was, well, not gonna do so hot on tips today. But out of everyone I've ever had on the tour, the only passenger I really remember is one time I had a blind guy come on the tour. I'll let that one simmer for a few more seconds. There was a blind guy on my sightseeing tour to the Grand Canyon. Now, the Grand Canyon, for those that are unaware, primarily a visual experience, all right? That is what you're going there for. All right, now that you guys laughed at that, I can tell you the truth. It was actually a blind child. You're laughing at a blind child right now? You're a bunch of sickos. Guys, this blind kid, his parents, they come up to me. His parents were there. It wasn't like a lone blind child, right? That would have been weird. His parents did take him sightseeing, which is kind of messed up. But like his parents, they come up to me and they go, oh, you know, he's always wanted to see the Grand Canyon. Guys, they did not need to say the Grand Canyon at the end of that last sentence. Folks, if I had a blind child, okay? If I had a blind child that wanted to see the Grand Canyon, I am not paying to take this kid on a tour. You just drive him anywhere quiet. To really sell the illusion, you can tell him to watch his step, but he can't watch his step. He's a blind child. All right. Well, guys, that's all the time I'm going to do. Good night.
Parker time! Keep going for it. Parker time!